All right, I shall kick off today's video with a very happy weekend, hashtag joyant, a very happy weekend, hashtag jubilant. Hello to all of my good friends out there circling the globe. I do so appreciate that you have come by today to watch this video. Therefore, I shall be on my best behavior, and I will do my very best to take a grope in the murkiness, try to make some sense out of the stock market here for you. And before it's all said and done, I hope that what we talk about puts a little bit of money in your pocket. As always, if you need help with your personal trading, feel free to join our live trading community. Go to the Trade with Doug website in the upper top and click Trade Community. Now, I do want to say something before we get started. As many of you might know, this week, this one right here, this is the last week for the 35% off pre-launch special to the check mark trading course. Now, I want to talk about this for just a second because this is something completely different. This is almost every single thing, or at least everything I know about trading is involved in this. It must be over 10 hours long. I spent literally 4 to 5 months just writing things down on a scratch piece of paper like this. Just ideas of just what is everything that I know about trading, everything that is important about trading. What does it take to take you from an amateur level to a professional level? I wrapped it all up into this course, and I decided that you can either get the course only or lifetime access to my live trading community. So I'm going to go ahead and post the link on here. If you guys are interested in that, go ahead and follow the link. I hope to see all of you there at the course. I hope to work with all of you and help you achieve your trading goals. Shall we begin with the SPY, as we normally do? And I guess, like I say a lot of times, I've run out of things to define what this market is. Maybe relentless is one of them. Honey badger status, I don't know. But we did get a little bit of thrill-seeking, let's say, this week, for lack of a better phrase. Now, over the last couple of days, I'm going to give you my thoughts here and where I've been going with some of my videos to clear up any confusion that might be there. I was thinking over the last week or so that, we had a pretty steep RSI in this market, a couple of overbought indicators, not real overbought, but after a big percentage run, that I felt, well, we could use a couple of percentage points of a pullback. It wouldn't hurt. Actually, it would be a better thing. We can get some of these stocks to pull back, or actually the indices, and try to reload there. Many of these other stocks on the growth side have just been decimated. And interesting stat that I read here, that most of the stocks are under their 50-day moving average, and the NASDAQ, yet it's all-time highs on those. Anyway, you got a bright spot. If you're a bear, you got a bright spot. You were given the lifeline. You got a high RSI. You got a market at high. Right there when it's its most vulnerable, you got a bearish lifeline thrown right at you. When Biden came out, or the plan with Biden came out about this capital gains tax, I did a video on that, could be up to 43%. It's only for $1 million and above, the way I understand it right now. And the market did not like that. The initial read, I don't know why I can't even speak here. Maybe I should slow down. The initial knee-jerk reaction to this was negative. We showed you the intraday action. Maybe I can pull the chart here and show it to you. My face is probably going to cover it up, but we got a very strong, very aggressive sell-off. But at the market, what happens the very next day, it's as if it never happened at all. Like it never, ever happened. So one of the things we look at when we're looking at technical analysis, like I say all the time, and this is a big piece I'm going to teach in this course, is it's the market's translation. This is the market's way of speaking to you and I. And it goes just beyond shapes in the chart as to what is it really trying to tell you. So what we're really looking at here is this. You've got a market that could be considerably overbought. A market that certainly seems to defy odds at many times. You get one moment after an 8%, 9% run up. You get a legit reason to sell this off, and the market starts that. Only the next day as if it never happened. It's like, why even bother? It's a non-event. And see, this is something that we've really been dealing with in this market. One of the bigger shifts about this bull market we're in is that every single correction of any sort has instantly been wiped out. Like, it is not a long-term consequence move. I mean, you can go back to like Brexit, a very aggressive reaction to that, followed by a very aggressive bounce. Like, it didn't even last a couple of days or weeks. Same thing with the election in 2016, the first initial move, and it was done. And you have all kinds of the banking, if you want to call it the banking crisis of 2018, for lack of a better word, whatever that is. You remember that market sold off like 20, 30%. It's done in February. It was back. Coronavirus, done, is back. Every sell-off instantly gets retraced. And until that stops, you can never think that you're going to be in a bear market for any longer than a month. I mean, the statistical, I think since 2011, every 20% correction that we've had in this market has been retraced in a couple of months or less. So, if you started trading after that, you just don't know what extended bear markets, and then maybe we just don't see them. Long story short here, man, if you get over all-time highs here, you get a press early, you're right there. We're going to open up futures on Sunday, and you're right there at the breakout point. It looks like it's ready to go higher. The Qs are up. Everything is high. I mean, this 12% correction that we had back here a month or so ago, it's almost like ancient history, It's like just ancient. It's like the Mayan ruins or so. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. And I tell you what, out of the indices, though, I don't know if any of you are trading these indices straight, but the IWM here really looks good for a trade. I mean, you got a really, really nice setup. Lots of consolidation. Looks like it's ready to break this upper range and move back to 234.50s. I do like this one here for a trade. I think the other ones are pretty decent trades here, but I feel that some of these are a little extended and you have to be really particular about your price. So that's my market breakdown. I want to go over a couple of individual names with you that I think will tickle your fancy. Let's go with the Tiger, T-I-G-R. Boy, there's a lot of these stocks right now that might be ready to move out of or come up out of the hole here. So I've featured a couple of these. Let's go back and talk about some of the stocks. I'm going to call them growth stocks. Maybe that's not exact. I don't want to use the word disturbing growth. That annoys me. Let's just call them aggressive growth. Aggressive growth. And that's all these stocks that really, really took off November, December, January. This massive run. I mean, you go down the list. That's where Vuzi came from. Pavem, P-A-V-M. Tiger here. I'm going to put that in that class. You got a lot of these stocks that done that. I'm just mentioning a couple, but there are a ton of these that's done it. They all kind of look the same in the structure of their patterns. They went through these just, I'm going to call it asinine, silly runs. I'm not going to sit here and be delusional to think you get a penny stock. It's not really a penny stock, but a single-digit stock that goes to 40 in the span of a month and a half. That needs to be corrected. So we originally got our first correction, and the NASDAQ kind of corrected with it, so they all collectively corrected together. Many of these, PLTR is one of those as well, right? There's another one that's just sort of laying here. They've been laying here and not being able to come up out of the range. This one looks like it's ready. You're right here at this breakout, 21.25, an area of interest. If you get a press through there, you should start moving back up to 30 to 40. Not a bad look here on Tiger. So I like this one. I want to watch it tomorrow. Pay attention to the action and see if there's a trade there. Maybe it ends up becoming a swing. Snow. Yo say daddy me snow, you out the blame. I lick it boom boom down. Remember that song? Informa. You know say daddy me so you out the blame. Nobody ever knew what that meant. Anyway. I've been watching this for a while, but I've done nothing with it. It's just been sort of like a painting on the wall. You just look at it like, oh yeah, it's great. It's painting. This thing's just going sideways, but it's a lot of consolidation. Now here's the beauty. The longer the term of consolidation, the more powerful the move is once it decides to leave that consolidation. So here's one of the good things. We know something's going to happen here. It's going to move out of here one day. It's either going to start moving higher or it's going to start moving lower. I want to watch this one here. It's not ready right now. Volume's pretty anemic, but if you get a nice little press over this area, I got to squint to see it. I think it's 236s. Then maybe you get a nice little move, 300 target somewhere up in here, 310s. Sorry for my mouse penmanship. But I think this is a pretty good trade here too. It's not ready yet, but if you do get a break, I would wait for the break on this one. Otherwise, the intraday action. I mean, there's some trades here for the day traders out there. Let's take, I mean, you got some nice moves here intraday, some good ups and downs, but I'm really looking for that range break. If you could get a nice range break on this, this is something that has some pretty good potential. Here, yes, I do here, but that's the name of the ticker. Here, here, here. This one's got earnings, and I should also say, because I didn't at the beginning, pay attention to earnings announcements. We're going through earnings season, and I highly recommend, unless your time horizon is of several years, do not hold through earnings. If you're a short-term trader, I wouldn't do that. Earnings is always a wild card because you never know how the market is going to react to what it is that you're seeing. But anyway, you got a nice little box formation up here, which is something I'll be talking about in the course, the box there. Nice little move here. Same thing as snow. Perhaps it moves up through the top there, and then gets up to the 35.74s. And my last one will be Fathom. Fathom, you cannot fathom the Fathom, FTHM. I was in this trade a while back, and it was a good one. You know, this is another one, but it wasn't as powerful as something like a Tiger. But you got a nice move, moving up here, tipping out at 56, falling down with the rest of them. Now you've got a nice base. I'm going to open this up so you can see it a little bit because it's kind of messy. Really good consolidation. I mean, take a look at this. Nice and tight area right here. A lot of wicks, a lot of support, a lot of market defense right here at 30. I think you could go in right here at 33 with a stop at 30. Your first target would be 40, which is this range right here. And then maybe you can start working on this level up here, which is almost 50 bucks, a little shy of 50 bucks. So one level to the next level to the next level. Keep an eye on that, but risk would be very low on this one. So here's what we do. Here's the plan. Here's what I'm thinking. Could change at any time because I'm a short-term trader and my time horizon is very short. It looks like this market wants to break out. I'm SMHing too. I'm like, well, what do you know? I kind of thought that after the Biden tax announcement combined with the overbought signals that the market would roll over. But this is what we do as traders, and this is something I want to, not for the shameless pumping of my own course, but I think this is one of the important developments for traders is to understand that your bias can ruin you in this business. You can be wrong. There's nothing wrong with me saying I think it's going to go higher and it doesn't. I think people sometimes misunderstand. Or you said you were really bullish on VUSI and now you're not, or you're bullish on Pavem and now you're not. Well, because I'm a short-term trader and I'm dealing with what's happening around me now, and things change. But you don't have to be financially wrong. You can be thinking wrong, but don't have to be financially wrong, because you can say, well, I think the market's going to break out, but then tomorrow it doesn't. It gaps up and starts selling, and then your whole entire plan changes. And I think for traders, we all have to have plan A, plan B, and plan C as we enter each day. And that's what I want to teach people is you got to be prepared for all these scenarios. So it looks like we're going to break out. We're right up here. We've had every reason to sell off, and we're just not doing it. So I guess the market wants a little bit more. That's the translation I'm getting right now. I think of all of these, if you're trading indices, the IWM is very attractive here chart-wise. It looks like it is one of the, not at all-time highs, so it has some room to run. Out of that, we've got stocks, Tiger, Snow, here, Fathom. That's an interesting, Tiger, Snow, Fathom. Tiger, Snow, Fathom. Hashtag Tiger, Snow, Fathom. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching this video. I do appreciate your support. Like the video if you like it. You have any questions, any curmudgeoning you want to do, down in the comments section. You also find my contact information down there. Trade well this week. As always, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.